that will determine if we have the technology. If we can surpass the technology.
This is technology.
If we can meet the challenge of technology.
If we have the technology.
If we have the technology warriors. If we can surpass the technology. If we can meet the challenge of technology.
We will be able to
if we have the technology warriors. But much beyond it. But if we fail here.
We will be able to achieve not.
You miss it. But much beyond it.
For many centuries.
But if we fail here. You miss it.
For many centuries to come.
In last 1,000 years, such a time has not come, and this is the generation who has got the time, and the challenge is yours. If you master it, countries' technological needs are going to be vast in every field. Sorry, in every walk of life.
Many centuries to come.
We want it.
But there are
in last 1,000 years, such a time has not come.
There are
this is the
critical and
generation
emerging technologies
who has got the time,
that will have
and the
to
challenges
look at with much greater.
If you master it,
much greater focus.
Countries,
it is important
technological
because
needs are going to be vast in every field.
Our needs are multiple.
Sorry, in every walk of life.
But every nation has got some core needs.
Centuries.
First
need
is
is survival.
But there
in last 1,000 years, you can have every time has not come.
There are
this is
critical
the
and
generation
emerging nothing
who has got the time
that will have
the
to
challenge. And we are in the business
look
of
at
saying,
with
much
even
greater.
if
you master it,
the much greater focus.
if you
Countries,
become the
it is
technological warriors, you may perish, your technology must survive, the nation may survive. The debt that we owe to our ancestors, we are able to avenge our history. Indeed, we need an ecosystem of technology. Needs are going to be vast. Infrastructure. You may perish.
But what we need most,
the nation may survive,
are the men
like you. You must have heard many stories. There was a young scientist in Cambridge, young boy. In the Second World War, do you know who changed the history of the Second World War? You know him by the name of the man who started, father of computing. His name was Alan Turing. He found he could break the Enigma machine's code. And thereafter, all the U-boats and all the communications of the German army were intercepted, and the entire shape of the battle from 1943, from the late 42, actually it started turning. He died young at the age of 44. Very few of you know that he was a spy. He was an intelligence man working for the MI6. And he was inserted in this task of breaking the German code. But it required a person with great technical genius and things. Today, to guide, protect, and take this country ahead. You know, something happened in 2020. It was slightly a bad experience for us. We had a certain, we had a little fight. Of course, ultimately we were able to get everything, But certain decisions were taken. And one of the decisions that was taken is we are going to completely indigenize our communication systems, and 5G will not be imported from anywhere. It is necessary for our data protection, it is necessary for our communications, it was necessary for many security needs. At the same time, the country could not afford to lose the technology battle and remain behind and get decades behind. Chinese has taken over 22 years and spent about $300 billion for developing the 5G. We neither had that much of a time. I'm sorry, Chinese took about 12 years, not 22 years, 12 years. We neither had that sort of a time nor even that sort of a money. Whom did we turn to? And that is why I said I owe a lot to Professor Kamakoti. We came and we talked with him. We wanted trusted sources. We wanted the system along with the private sector to work out. And within about 2.5 years, India was totally indigenous. And today's 5G, there's nothing foreign in that. And we owe it to your IIT. We owe it to our private sector. We owe it to others. All contributed a lot. Today, it ensures Professor Kamakoti has put a system in place that even a screw that comes that deals with anything which has got or which leads to the nation's security protection of the data protection or the anything that is, it comes from a trusted source. It's either made in India or it is something which is made by somebody who is very close to India. It comes from a trusted source. That concept was this thing when he said, how do we make our system totally insulated from any enemy influence and others? And we said that we will work for that. It looks small, but it is big. It is something that you have done a lot for doing that. Now, I was talking about that what could be the systems that would be important for us, which will be the game changers. You all know it, but I would like to emphasize it. Artificial intelligence is one of the great game changers. It took roughly 4.5 million years for a man to invent fire, which was one transformative technology. Fire changed the whole concept of the world, the way the man lived. Another 2 lakh years, this thing, the wheel. And then many such things came which we call as this thing, which take a shorter time, and others, your steam engine, printing press, computers and others. The rate at which it was changing, the world was changing. Artificial intelligence is going to change the world every year at that rate. It will become unrecognizable from everything that we do today. Is probably changed. And its applications will be diverse. It's not only required for your research and development, for machine learning, for large language models, for defense, robotics, medical, finance, anywhere. If India is able to lead and develop, make it a focus point, that this is one area that we have to develop. Another is about quantum, the quantum computing and its all applications. Utilizing the principles of superpositioning and entanglement, it can make tremendous difference in what we can achieve. It is going to make the classical computing much less relevant. This thing of the photons and others that we're talking about, actually the theory of particles are going to undergo a whole change. The way that from distances and others probably will make this thing, the conventional thinking of this thing, that how particles will behave and this thing probably will be much more unpredictable. So in the computer discoveries, probably you will find that this whole new world opens. Semiconductors, now that is the building blocks of the modern technologies. Our chips for our battery tanks, for various types of things, that probably the chips are going to be a great thing. And then the space sciences, and I must compliment here Dr. Goenka, who has contributed tremendously in the last 3 years in the new whole district that is opened up for the space sector, for the private sector, and we are doing very well in that. Whether it's in communications, it's in navigations, it's in satellite surveillance, geological mapping, rare earths, and advanced materials, energy, etc. and other this thing. Now, the link of the technology and warfare has been always very, very important. The caveman from his stove, from a sling with a stone, to the today's contactless warfare and the unmanned systems has been a long journey. Do you know one of the biggest empires which ruled for 2,500 years? One of the most important reasons why it was defeated and was finished by the northeastern tribals of Europe, known as the Germanians, and later the Byzantines by the Turks. Because the Romans were good horse riders, but never used stirrups. Now, stirrups are the iron this thing on which you stand. Whereas from the Genghis Khan time, from the Mongolian this thing, these tribals had known that on their horses and their ponies, they could stand in the stirrups. So you can play with the sword. Standing there, you can throw a spear with that. Whereas on the horse, where you are sitting on a blanket on top of it, you can only tumble down, if anybody wanted. Roman Empire got finished. It's the technology. Mughals brought here the Hemu's army and others, which was much more powerful than of the Babur and others. It was the bazookas, the gunpowder. The Mughals brought the gunpowder. And the Indian elephants started reversing their direction and stepping over their own troops. It is the technology. We have to develop our indigenous technology. Mention was made here of Sindoor. We are really proud of it, not for necessarily what people perceive. That how much of an indigenous content was there. The debt that we owe, that some of the best systems we are able to avenge our history. Whether it was our BrahMos systems, whether it was our integrated air ecosystem, control and command systems, technology.
It's going to be vast.
Whether it was
You may perish.
whole this of it.
But what we need most
at the battlefield surveillance
are the men.
Like you. You must have
We
heard
decided
many
to
stories.
have 9
There was a young
targets
scientist in Cambridge,
in the young boy.
crisscross of Pakistan. It was not on the border
In the
area
Second World War,
which we thought
do you know who changed the
where
history
they are
of the Second
different.
World War?
We missed none. You know him by the name of the man who started, father of computer. We hit nowhere else
His
except
name
that.
was Alan Turing.
And it is also not that
He
it was a very, it was
found
precise to the
a-
point where we knew.
You
who
could
is-
break the Enigma machine's code. Entire
And
operation
thereafter
was
all
started
the
at 5
U-boats
minutes
and
past
all the
1,
communications
and
of
was
the
over
German
at
army
28 minutes past
were intercepted.
23 minutes.
And the entire shape of the battle from 1943, from the late 42. Thereafter, a lot of things are said that this thing.
He died
foreign
young at
press
the age of
and all
44.
these things. They said Pakistan did that and this. You tell me
Very
one
few of you
photograph, one imagery that he was a spy. He was
You
an
know, these
intelligence
days,
man. These imageries are from the satellite.
Working
all over
for the
world.
MI6.
They are this thing. Which shows
And he
any
was
Indian
insta-
damage
inserted
being done
this task
when a glass pane
of
having
breaking
been
the
broken.
German code.
Forces will be knowing what's happening in this thing, but I am just telling they
But it
brought out
require a
photographs,
person
they
with
wrote
great
this thing, the New York Times
Technical genius and
put it
things.
this thing, put out very this thing, to guide, protect, and take this country ahead. Only imagery they said, whether it was
You know,
in Sargodha,
something
or
happened
it
in
was
2020.
Rahim Yar
It
Khan,
was
or
slightly a
was
bad experience
for us. We had a certain this thing with some. We had a little fight. Of course, ultimately we were able to get everything this thing. But certain decisions were taken. And one of the decisions that was taken is we are going to completely indigenize our communication systems, and 5G will not be imported from anywhere. It is necessary for our data protection, it is necessary for our communications, it was necessary for many security needs. At the same time, the country could not afford to lose the technology battle and remain behind and get decades behind.
Chaklala, or it is
Chinese
Rajgiri,
has taken
air bases,
over 22
including the
years,
Bellary, where they have got the
And spent
AVAX, the
about $300 billion for developing the 5G.
I want this.
We neither had that much of a time. Now,
I want to send to you. You must meet.
I'm sorry, Chinese took about 12 years, not 22 years, 12 years. We neither
I
had
said,
that
okay.
sort of a time,
Send him some time.
nor even that sort of a money.
Send
Whom
him
did
some
we turn to? And that is why I said I
So
owe a
he
lot
came.
to Professor Kamakoti. He told me. We
That's
came,
what I said,
and
how do you know
we talked
you're
with
my
him.
master?
We wanted
He said, I
trusted
provide
sources. We wanted the
services to the
system,
American
along with the private
business
sector, to
forces.
work out. And within about 2.5 years, India
said,
was
what's your
totally
background?
indigenous. And
And he
today's
told me
5G,
something
there's
about
nothing
this.
foreign in that. And we owe it to
When
your
I
aid.
learned that he was
We
the
owe it to
person
our
who
private
was the
sector, we owe it to
founder
others.
and CEO
All contributed
of
a lot.
Rhombus.
Today, it ensures Professor
He
Kamakoti
was
has
providing
put a system
on the
in place.
He started it
that every
on the
with
basis
a
of
screw
the
that
open
comes
information
that
about
deals with
the
anything
position
which
of the
has got
satellites
or which
and
leads
what
to the
they were
nation's
taking the images
security,
and
protection
some of, it
of
this
the
thing,
data protection
the
or the
entire forecasting
anything that is what comes from a trusted
for
source.
next 24 hours.
It's either made
For
in India
American Army.
or it is something which is made by somebody who is very close to India.
Then
Comes
the
from a
American Army
trusted source.
started supplementing it with their own
That concept was this thing when he said,
data.
how
And
do
he
we make
became
our system
extremely
totally
this thing.
insulated
And
from any
this
enemy
Rhombus Corporation
influence and
became
others.
one
We
of
said
the
that
very,
we
very
will go for that.
powerful
It looks
organizations.
small.
with
But it
very
is
high
big.
technology, using
is-
AI,
it is
using
something
particle
that,
things and multi,
You have done a
multiple
lot
of other
for
technologies
doing that.
and others.
Now, I was talking about that what could be the systems
Then I asked him,
that
I
would
said,
be
okay,
the
this is very
important
good.
for us.
Impressed with what you
Which
said.
will be the
We
game
checked it
changers.
up with these things
You
also.
all know
We
it,
found
but I would like to
tremendous
emphasize it.
His
Artificial
predictions are
intelligence
70% right.
Is
About
one of the
anything
great
relating
game
to
changers.
defense and military activity
It
taking
took
place anywhere in the world.
roughly 4.5 million years
He said, sir, I've come to you, I carry a sense of guilt.
for a man to discover, invent
I said,
fire,
why? I said, you've done so well in life.
which was
He
one
said, I've done so much for the
transformative
Americans.
technology.
I agree,
Fire changed the
but I could not do anything for
whole concept of the world, the way the man lived.
I want to do something for my country.
Another 2
But
lakh
we have a
years,
problem.
this thing, the wheel.
You have taken American citizenship. And therefore, we can't integrate you with this.
And then many such things came.
He
which
said, don't
called
bother.
as this thing, which take a shorter
You,
time.
you
and
don't
other
give any data. I will work
steam
on the
engine,
basis of the
printing
output.
press, computers and others.
And I will teach your people
The rate
how to
at
manage
which
it.
it was changing, the
After
world
I
was
go,
changing.
you integrate
Artificial
the data with
intelligence
your own
is
people
going
to
to
find out
change
this
the
thing.
world every year at that rate.
We have started working with him.
And
he
it
said, I
will
don't want to
become
do it alone.
unrecognizable from
It's not
everything that we do today.
This is the
For which
spirit
and its applications will be done.
that I want each one of you to
not
go.
only required for
Will
the
you have
research
that
and
passion?
development, for machine learning,
For-
for large language models, for defense, robotics, medical, finance, anywhere.
Your nation.
If India
Think
is
that you
able
realize
to
it little
lead
too
and
late.
develop,
Or
make
you
it a
realize
focus
in
point
2025
that
that
this
you
world
have to
has
take the
to
country
develop.
in 2047
Another is about
where
quantum,
it's destined
the quantum
is
computing
where it is
and
destined
its
to.
applications.
Make it a proud
Utilizing
country
the
in
principles
major
of
military terms and
superposition
economic
and
terms, in
entanglement.
science and technology,
It
and
will
everything and
make
every area of the human
Tremendous
activity.
difference. in
If
what-
if you can manage your time, you can manage your inner
it is going to
and
make
you can manage
classical
your
computing
mind
much
and
less
spirit.
relevant.
You can achieve it.
This thing of the
And
photons
you are not the
others
first.
that we're talking about.
Many more have done
Actually,
it,
theory of
but
particles are
only
going to
today
undergo
you
a
have
whole
got the
change.
opportunity.
The way
I
that
did
from
not have the opportunity. I was not an
distances and
IT
others
IT.
probably will make this thing.
Actually,
The
when I just
conventional
see the
thinking
IITs
of all
just
this thing,
start-
that how particles will
There were
behave
hardly
and this thing probably will
We also did not have that much, and the country did not have that much of a money. Today, the country has money to invest in science and technology. Next year, it will be probably another 1 trillion added to our country's growth. Probably we are succeedingly, we are going to become more this thing. Very few institutions today will say that they have got dearth of resources. Ecosystems is being built up. Infrastructure is being
So in
built
the
up.
compute-
Testing equipment and
find
others
that
will be available.
this whole
If
new
not,
world
we will do it.
semiconductors.
Your alumni
Now
are a
that is
great
building
asset.
block
All over the world they are
of the
there,
modern
and they have been
technology.
contributing a lot.
Our chip
I must say that
for
well,
our
their
battle
contribution has been
tanks,
fantastic.
for various types of things. They're
But
probably the chips.
Will you be looking at it only as an opportunity?
And then the space
You will
sciences,
make
and I must
the life
compliment here Dr.
comfortable
Goenka,
for you.
who has
You will be
contributed
able to go
tremendously
for more
in
of
the last 3 years in the new whole district that is opened up for the space sector for the private sector, and we are doing very well in that.
Yes,
Whether
the
it's in
Mediterranean
communications,
and other
in navigation,
climate concerns, this
it's in
language, and
satellite
thereafter.
surveillance, geological mapping. You can call that like success. Rare earths. I will tell you one small incident before I conclude.
Energy,
During the
etc.
Second World War, no, in the concentration camps, there were many link of the technology and warfare has been always very, very Jews who were kept there. One of them was a man from his stove, a sling, and very well from Austria. To the today's home, Hitler had this thing and other. Contactless warfare and the unmanned systems has been a long journey. When he started looking, and then he was shifted. He started. Do you know people coming to one of the biggest camps? Many of them were perishing. Some in 3 months, some in 5 months, some 6 months. One of the most important reasons he was this and there were certain things against him. He was kept for a very long time, almost the northeastern tribes war, about 4.5 years. About 4 years. And later the Byzantines. And was shifted from one concentration camp to another concentration camp of the Jews and others. Because the Romans were found hundreds of Jews, but never thousands of Jews dying. But when you stay in the stirrups are the iron this thing on which you stand. Whereas, and he started from the Genghis Khan time, from the Mongolian this thing, these tribals had known that on their horses and the ponies, they could stand in the stirrups. So the old lady of 74, standing there, you can throw a spear with that. Whereas on the horse, where you are sitting with a blanket on top, I don't know when the war will be over, but I have to go back home. If anybody, he said, why? They said, Roman. They brought me and my son and my daughter-in-law. But Mughals brought here my granddaughter, about 4 years more powerful than of the Babur and others. I have to go back to get the gunpowder. And groom her, train her, whatever is that, bring her up and all these things. And I feel very restless. I want the war to be over. And stepping over all troops. It is the then, few years after the war, he met this old. We have to develop our indigenous technology. Teenager mention was made here of Sindhu. He said, "How are you?" We are really proud of it. This is my granddaughter. Not for necessarily. She found this old lady was now. That how much of an indigenous content was there. The debt that we owe. That some of the best we are and also in psychology, one of the game-changing contribution integrated. And his name was Victor. It's going to be wars. You may perish. But what we need most at the battlefield surveillance are the men. The name of his book was like you. You must have. We decided to have 9. There was a young scientist in Cambridge. In the young boy, whose life has a meaning. Only they survive. It not on the border. In the Second World War, you are useless. When your life, do you know who changed the history of you may be a billionaire or you may be a pauper. It doesn't matter. You know him by the name of the man. As long as there is a meaning. Father of we hit nowhere else except to achieve something. And if you have got nothing to achieve, it was. If you have got nothing, you can't pay this thing after the match is over. Break. If there's no goal post, machines entire operation was started. Even after death will come out. Of the German army. Your willpower, your spiritual 23 minutes. And the entire shape of the this institution gives you the meaning. Your energy gives you the meaning. Your circumstances give you a meaning. This nation did that and this. You tell me one photograph, one imagery that he was a spy. He was, these days, these imageries are from the satellite. Working for the MI6. They are just this thing. If you dedicate yourself for next 20 years, this is the meaning of my life of breaking the German code. Forces will be knowing what's happening in this thing, but I am just telling, I am over 80, I have lived my life. But I know this country has got a very great future. But there is a factor, and that is you. Do your best and give your best. I wish you my best wishes. A person with great strength, the New York Times, technical genius, and put out very this. Country has got a very great future. acquire a
photograph,
person
they
with
wrote
great
this thing, the New York Times,
technical
Mr.
genius.
Dawal,
Today,
for that
put out
most
very
immersive and inspiring
country has
speech.
got a very great future.
I think you need to change and make more public appearances because you'll inspire so many people to think differently. Today, I'm sure that many of the young people sitting here have redefined what they will call success. Not to make billions, not to become citizen of some other country, but to become the X factor in Viksit Bharat of 2047. I'm sure all of you have to become the X factor. Close your eyes for a few minutes. What India will look like in 2047. The picture that Sudhawal has painted today. All of you have. You will play a big role. Technology will play a big role because, as he said, that the most proud thing for us in Operation Sindoor was that we used so much indigenous technology to get the results that we got. And that's where IITs come in the picture. That's where IIT students come in the picture. That's why IIT alumni come in the picture. Thank you, Mr. Dawal, for giving us that inspiring thought process for the next 22 years. Some of us may not be there at that time, but I'm sure India will be a country that the whole world will look to. Now we proceed further in our convocation ceremony. Does it please the members of the Senate to approve the award of the degrees and diplomas of the Institute to the candidates who have become eligible to receive them at this convocation? Director Professor Kamakoti, please award the degrees and diplomas of the Institute to all the eligible candidates.
Madam Registrar, please propose the number of candidates who have become eligible for the award of the various degrees, diplomas of the Institute at this convocation.
Sir, I propose that 3,227 candidates be awarded the degrees, diplomas of the Institute at this convocation. I also propose that 2,419 candidates be awarded the degrees and diploma in person in the departmental degree distribution progress in absentia.
By the authority vested in me as the chairperson of the contributed to the graduates in the degree distributed functions by respective heads of the departments later today. Mr. Dean Academic Courses, please read out the names of prize winners present at this august assembly. May I request the Honorable Chief Guest to present the prizes to the prize winners. I request the Honorable Guest of Honor and the chairperson to join.
Vanakkam. Here are the prize winners for the graduating class of 2025. President of India Prize for the highest CGPA amongst BTech and dual degree programs, and the Bharat Ratna M. Vishveshwaraya Memorial Prize for the highest CGPA in BTech. Both of these prizes go to Anirudh B.S. Institute Merit Prize for the student with the highest CGPA in dual degree BTech and MTech program goes to Anish Anand Pofale. Governance Prize for the student with the best overall performance in curricular and co-curricular activities of the dual degree program, Rajagopal Subramaniam C. Best PhD thesis in the Department of Aerospace Engineering. Best PhD thesis in the Department of Applied Mechanics and Biomedical Engineering. We have joint winners, Anu V.S. Nath. And Samana P. Best PhD thesis in the Department of Civil Engineering, Sahil Vani. Best PhD thesis in the Department of Chemical Engineering, Baliwada Kusum Kumar. Best PhD thesis in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Kirti K. Best PhD thesis in the Department of Chemistry, Sachind Prabha P. Best PhD thesis in the Department of Electrical Engineering, Nagesha C. Best PhD thesis in the Department of Mathematics, Rabita V. Best PhD thesis in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Smriti Parimita. Best PhD thesis in the Department of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering, Swati Suman. Best PhD thesis in the Department of Management Studies, Apurva Goyal. Best PhD thesis in the Department of Ocean Engineering, Yedula Hemant Kumar. Professor A.L. Lashkar Prize. Professor A.L. Lashkar Prize for the scholar with the best PhD thesis in physics, Hari K. Thank you, sirs and madam. We are also giving the following prizes in absentia. Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma Prize to Abhinav V. Best PhD thesis in the Department of Biotechnology to Lavanya. Best PhD thesis in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences to Sanchar Sarkar. And Professor A.L. Lashkar Prize also being shared by Madhura Ghosh Dastidar. I now request the Honorable Guest of Honor, Dr. Padma Subramaniam Ji, to present the seat allotment letter to the students admitted to the B.Tech program of IIT Madras through the Fine Arts and Culture Excellence FACE admission program. I call on stage Putturi Ratnakar, who is a Carnatic vocal musician and a Maitreya Divyan Parekh, who plays the tabla. Nandan Kanashyam, who is a painter. Sarvajit Murali, who is a Carnatic classical violinist. Thank you, sirs and madam. We will now listen to the acceptance speeches of the award winners and one from a special mention PhD graduate.
Good morning to everyone present here, the chief guest, guest of honor, the chairman, board of governors, the director, members of the Senate, faculty members, proud parents, and my fellow graduating class of 2025. I am deeply honored to have received the President of India Prize and the Bharat Ratna M. Vishwesvaraya Memorial Prize. These awards are a reflection of the invaluable support and guidance I have received throughout my journey at IIT Madras. IIT Madras has been monumental in providing me with the opportunity and the platform and the environment for me to grow both professionally and personally by doing whatever I love. To begin with, I would like to thank my family members for their constant encouragement and love throughout my academic journey. The learning atmosphere here at IIT Madras is truly exceptional. I am sincerely thankful to the professors who have shaped my understanding through their coursework here. I am extremely grateful to Professor Anjan Chakravarti, Professor Shankaran Anirudhan, Professor Abhishek Chatterjee, and Professor David Koil Pillai for mentoring me and guiding me throughout my research endeavors here. I am also thankful to my team at IITM SAT for helping me grow in a collaborative atmosphere. My journey remains incomplete if I don't thank my peer group, specifically my wingmates, Godavari 301 to 310 and 364, for their companionship, which has made my journey both joyful and memorable. In conclusion, I would like to finally congratulate all my fellow graduates and their families on this momentous occasion and wish them success for their professional careers. Have a great day. Thank you.
I am deeply honored to receive the Institute Merit Prize for securing the highest CGPA across all dual degree programs. It was a wonderful surprise for me when Dean Academic Courses, Professor Pratap, personally called to congratulate me for this a few days ago. However, this would not have been possible without the constant support of my friends, professors, and family. When I first joined IIT Madras, I had never thought that one day I would be standing here accepting this prize. The first 3 semesters of my college life were completely online, and I remember being very shy, interacting with very few of my batchmates. But when I came to campus, things changed quickly. To all my friends from my hostels, right from Jamuna to Kaveri to Alaknanda, the table tennis team, and my CFTC lab mates, they have truly made this journey at IIT Madras memorable. I would also like to express my gratitude to all my professors for their amazing courses and guidance that have inspired me to pursue a PhD after completing my dual degree. I would especially like to thank my dual degree project advisor, Professor Vagesh, for his valuable guidance and support throughout my final year. I am also thankful to IIT Madras for the academic excellence prizes that I received over the last 3 institute days, and these have motivated me to strive for academic excellence. Last but not the least, I would like to thank my parents and my sister for their unconditional love and support throughout the time I was away from my home. A special thanks to my grandparents who have flown all the way from Australia just to attend my convocation. Finally, I would like to congratulate all my fellow graduates, and I wish everyone all the very best as we step into the next chapter of our lives. Thank you.
This speech is a call to inaction, where I shall take a couple of minutes to reflect on my journey so far and thank those who have made it memorable. First people to thank, without a doubt, are my parents and my sister Roshni, who have been a pillar for support throughout my life. They have always been there for me and are my biggest cheerleaders, and I could not thank them enough for it, and for the great food that has sustained me. Similarly, I would like to thank my grandparents. From playing cricket with them to getting an award at this stage, I'm sure it's a dream come true for them. I think some of the best memories one makes is with their wing, and my wing is no exception. Special shout out to Aditya, Anvit, Harinder, Keshav, Nikhil, Prahalad, and Sanjeev, with whom I share core memories. From late night rants to mid-intern rants, from career advice to certain bicycle related events. Thank you for always being there. Let's not forget, manifesting is real. Clubs are a second home for everybody in Insti, and for me, it is the Quiz Club and the Oratory Club. Quiz Club holds a special place in my heart, and winning Nihil twice is something that I shall cherish forever. But the Gaj Gang holds a special place in my heart, especially my co-course, Parth, Anvit, and Prahalad, and the first cohort, Nidan, Nitish, Naufal, Megh, Prajwal. Thank you for being a place of sanity within the club. Let's keep the true Barth Scholarship and the Meg Griffin Ideathon rolling for years to come. Secondly, Oratory Club. I've seen this club grow from its nascent stages to its present form, but my cohort, Joel, Samyukta, Sanjeev, and Srilakshmi, hold a close place in our hearts. I shall always remember our 2 a.m. Google Meets, to our insane runs at Nalsar, CUPD, and Inter-IIT, to our insanely fun sessions at local Chennai Fest. I shall treasure each one of them. Thank you for showing me that sometimes Icarus can fly. Quick shout out to my hostel, Narmada. Though I ran for the position of Technical Affairs Secretary, my biggest contribution shall be in bringing Litsock home for 2 times in a row. Narmada, Narmada, Vijay Sarvada. I'd like to thank my guide, Dr. Karthik Raman, from the YRF project to my dual degree thesis. He has always been a mentor, a guide. Thank you so much, sir, for that. I'd also like to thank Dr. Lakshman Krishnamurthy at Yale for giving a third year from India the opportunity to conduct path-breaking research. I'd be remiss if I do not thank the institute for where I am today. On my orientation day, we were told IITM is a land of opportunities. It's up to you to grab them. I'd like to thank my directors, Dr. Bhaskar Ramamurthy and Dr. Kamakoti, for creating an environment where one can pursue excellence in whatever they want. I would also like to thank my departments, Biotechnology and DSAI, for ensuring that whether I needed guidance or resources, I always got them. Last but not least, I would like to thank God for always being there with me. They say no man is an island, and I sure would not be where I am today without the support of everybody I mentioned and did not mention today. Thank you so much for all your contributions that allowed me to receive the Governor's Prize for the year 2025. I am extremely honored by this award, and I shall cherish this for the rest of my life. Thank you to the Institute once again.
Like speech activation software that really make the playing field even for us. For me, today is historic because I represent a segment of society that is largely invisible. 1 out of 4 people have some form of disability, but we are never seen. Only 6% of girls with disability even get to go to school. So I beg that there should be some more concerted efforts being taken so that our basic right to our education can be met, and more people like me can come through these doors, and this broken barrier can remain broken forever. I was a state-level cricketer and swimmer, and when I completed high school, I was at the top 2 percentile of the entire US population, but then I chose to come back to India. Then an accident left me paralyzed below the neck because of a spinal cord injury. I was shocked and broken, but I kept fighting. I was denied admission into college, and I didn't know what to do, but I kept fighting. And when I came to know that people like me were being forced to commit suicide by their own families, I started Soul Free. Soul Free is a public charitable trust that has been running for more than a decade now to improve the quality of life of persons facing a lifetime of paralysis after spinal cord injury. Soul Free is supporting more than 3,000 families today, and we have established India's first integrated spinal rehabilitation center at Tiruvannamalai. The Soul Free Inspire Center is transforming the lives of millions and ensuring that they are able to lead lives that are self-reliant from a physiological, psychological, and socio-economic perspective. If I can transform 3,000 lives, each of you can do so much more. I request you all to stay in India and fight and work to ensure that India becomes prosperous, inclusive, and accessible to all. I would like to thank my guide, Dr. Hemachandran Khara, and my co-guide, Dr. Sujata Srinivasan, who have stood by me despite very challenging times. But most of all, I wish to give my deepest gratitude, pranam, and salutations to my mother, without whom I will not be alive today. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Graduates of the year, I charge you that in thought, word, and deed, you will ever maintain the purity, dignity, and integrity of your profession.
We, the graduates of the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, hereby pledge that we shall, in thought, word, and deed, ever endeavor to be scrupulously honest in the discharge of our duties, that in all circumstances we shall uphold the dignity and integrity of our profession and the honor of our institute and the nation, and that we shall devote all our energies to promote the unity and secular ideal of our country and utilize our knowledge in the service of our nation and society. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvi navaditamastu, ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi.
On behalf of all those assembled here, I request the director to give a memento to the chief guest and the guest of honor.
I declare the convocation closed.
I now request everyone to please rise up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाता
जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज पैसा देके इन पोलिंग एजेंसीज को खरीद रही हैं। इस स्टिंग ऑपरेशन में सी वोटर के एमडी यशवंत देशमुख कह रहे हैं, किसी भी नेता का भाषण उठा के देख लो, एलपीजी सिलेंडर की जो बात थी वो हर भाषण में। कुछ मीडिया वाले तो न्यूज रूम में बैठ के ही एग्जिट पोल के रिजल्ट्स बना देते हैं कि क्या फालतू में पैसा खराब करना। चाहे किसी के पास रजिस्ट्रेशन हो या ना हो, कुछ पता हो या ना हो, हर कोई सोशल मीडिया पे सिफोलॉजिस्ट बना बैठा है। आपको लगेगा कि आप अपनी मर्जी से जाके वोट दे रहे हो, लेकिन एक्चुअल में एक प्लान तरीके से सिलेक्टिव इंफॉर्मेशन देके आपसे वोट डलवाया जाता है। इन मैनिपुलेटेड एग्जिट पोल्स और सोशल मीडिया के फेक नैरेटिव की वजह से न जाने कितने लोगों के घर बर्बाद हुए हैं। देखिए, आपने एक चीज नोटिस की होगी कि भले एक नेता की इलेक्शन के टाइम पे जमानत जब्त हो रही हो, लेकिन उसके बाद भी वो आखिरी दम तक कहता है कि वो भारी मतों से जीत के अपनी सरकार बना रहा है। अब ये बात ठीक है कि इससे उसकी पार्टी की हवा बनती है, लेकिन ऐसा भी क्या फायदा होता है इस चीज से कि छोटे से लेके बड़ा नेता अपनी क्रेडिबिलिटी को दांव पे लगा के अपनी बात खराब करता है और फिर अगले इलेक्शन में फिर से वही चीज रिपीट करता है। और इसके लिए करोड़ों रुपए खर्च किए जाते हैं। कई कई जगह पे तो फेक सर्वे और एग्जिट पोल्स के रिजल्ट जो होते हैं वो शेयर करवाए जाते हैं। तो ये सब करने के पीछे एक्चुअल लॉजिक क्या होता है, और ये जो एग्जिट पोल, ओपिनियन पोल्स होते हैं, इनके रूल्स क्या हैं, इनको कैलकुलेट कैसे किया जाता है, नेता अपने भाषणों में इन सर्वेस का यूज किस तरीके से करता है, और एग्जिट पोल्स के रिजल्ट्स आते ही सेबी से इंक्वायरी की डिमांड क्यों उठने लगती है। तो ये जो एग्जिट पोल हैं, सर्वेज हैं, ये इतने इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं थे। पहले जब इलेक्शन होते थे तो जिस आदमी को जो पार्टी पसंद होती थी वो उसको वोट डाल के आ जाता था। लेकिन इलेक्शन के अंदर ये जो अलग अलग तरीके के सर्वे होते हैं, जो अलग अलग तरीके का डेटा कैलकुलेट किया जाता है, ये सारी चीजें डिस्कवर तो बाहर हुई और फिर धीरे धीरे करके इंडिया में आई। एक्चुअली हुआ क्या था, ईयर 1920 में एक जॉर्ज गैलप नाम का एक आदमी था जिसने अपनी पीएचडी थीसिस में एक टेक्निक डेवलप कर ली थी, जिसमें वो कुछ सैंपल के बेसिस पे मास लेवल पे यूएस की जनता क्या सोचती है वो प्रेडिक्ट करने का तरीका निकाल लिया था उसने। और फिर कुछ टाइम बाद जॉर्ज जो था वो लोगों पे इस टेक्निक का यूज करता था, इनका सर्वे निकालता था और धीरे धीरे करके न्यूज़पेपर्स को बेचना चालू कर दिया उसने। लोगों को भी ये जो अलग अलग तरीके के पोल्स होते थे, जो यूएस की जनता क्या सोचती है, इसको जानने में बहुत इंटरेस्ट आया और जो न्यूज़पेपर थे उन्होंने भी खूब पैसा बनाया। और सबसे ज्यादा ये जो पोल था, गैलप पोल था, ये फेमस हुआ 1936 में। ईयर 1936 में गैलप पोल ने अपने मेथड का यूज करके ये प्रेडिक्ट किया कि इलेक्शन में लोग फ्रैंकलिन डी रोजवेल्ट को ज्यादा पसंद कर रहे हैं और वही यूएस के प्रेसिडेंट बनेंगे। और जब इसके बाद रिजल्ट आए तो ये बात सच हो गई और फिर यहीं से ये गैलप पोल बहुत फेमस हो गया। और फिर धीरे धीरे करके बाकी कंट्रीज में भी जो इलेक्शंस होते थे वहां पे अलग अलग तरीके के इसी मेथड को यूज करके पोल होने लगे। सबसे ज्यादा एडवांस तरीकों का यूज करके जो पोल किया वो यूके ने अपने इलेक्शन में किया। और ऐसे करके जब दुनिया भर में ये इलेक्शंस बहुत फेमस हुए तो ईयर 1979 में इंडिया में भी इसकी एंट्री हुई। तो इस टाइम पे एनडीटीवी वाले प्रणय रॉय और अशोक लहरी ने, दो मार्केट रिसर्चर्स थे, डोराब सुपारीवाला और केएमएस टीटू आलूवालिया, इनको बुला के इंडिया में भी ओपिनियन पोल के जो सर्वे होते हैं उनको स्टार्ट करवा दिया। इन्होंने लोकसभा के इलेक्शन के पोल्स बना के इंडिया टुडे की मैगजीन में पब्लिश करे। और जब ये पोल्स इलेक्शन बाय इलेक्शन इंडिया के अंदर भी सही होने लगे तो ये जो कॉन्सेप्ट था ये इंडिया के अंदर भी फेमस हो गया। लेकिन इस पर्टिकुलर टाइम तक, यानी कि ईयर 1979 तक, ओपिनियन पोल जो होते थे वही चलते थे, एग्जिट पोल की एंट्री नहीं हुई थी। इलेक्शन के टाइम पे एग्जिट पोल का जो कॉन्सेप्ट था उसकी एंट्री ईयर 1980 में हुई थी। तो देखिए, ओपिनियन पोल जो होते हैं वो इलेक्शन होने से पहले होते हैं, जिसमें सिंपली लोगों के ओपिनियन लिए जाते हैं कि क्या लग रहा है उनको कि कौन जीत सकता है या फिर वो किन मुद्दों पे वोट कर रहे हैं। जैसे इस बार अभी 2024 वाले इलेक्शन में 19 अप्रैल को इलेक्शन होने थे, तो इलेक्शन कमीशन ने 16 अप्रैल तक की डेडलाइन रख दी थी कि इस डेट से पहले जो भी ओपिनियन पोल पब्लिश करने हैं वो कर सकता है, उसके बाद नहीं कर सकता। अब ये सारे रूल बताऊंगा मैं आपको भी। तो इस बार ये जो 2024 के जो ओपिनियन पोल आए थे वो ये आए थे। और वहीं एग्जिट पोल की बात करें तो वो थोड़ा अलग होता है ओपिनियन पोल से। वो इलेक्शन होने के बाद जब वोटर वोट दे के आ रहा होता है तब होते हैं, तब वोटर से पूछा जाता है कि वो किसके सपोर्ट में है या फिर वो किन मुद्दों पे वोट कर रहे हैं। जैसे इस बार की बात करें तो 1 जून की शाम को एग्जिट पोल के जो रिजल्ट थे वो ब्रॉडकास्ट होना चालू हो गए थे। तो ईयर 1980 आते आते ओपिनियन पोल और एग्जिट पोल इंडिया के अंदर एंट्री मार चुके थे और लोग इनको सीरियसली भी लेने लगे थे। और सबसे ज्यादा एग्जिट पोल के रिजल्ट का हल्ला हुआ था वो हुआ था ईयर 1984 में, जब इनकी प्रेडिक्शन एकदम एक्यूरेट हुई थी।
पर कांग्रेस की जीत मिली।
तो एग्जिट पोल और ओपिनियन पोल को चलाने वालों की और उनका सर्वे करने वालों की डिमांड भी बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ गई। इंडिया के अंदर सेफोलॉजिस्ट नाम का एक प्रोफेशन भी स्टार्ट हो गया, जिसका काम था इन सर्वेस के थ्रू इलेक्शन के अंदर प्रेडिक्शन करना। और ये जो सर्वे कराने वाली जो पोलिंग एजेंसीज थी, इन्होंने भी अपनी टेक्निक को टाइम के साथ साथ एडवांस किया। सिर्फ एक ही तरीके की सैंपलिंग पे इन्होंने भरोसा नहीं किया, जैसे क्लस्टर सैंपलिंग। ये इतने मेथड यूज होने लगे सर्वे के लिए, और आज की डेट में तो ये पोलिंग एजेंसीज एआई डैशबोर्ड का भी यूज करती हैं। आप देखिए जो अलग अलग तरीके के पोल्स थे, ये फेमस तो बहुत हो गए थे, मीडिया हाउसेस को भी बहुत टीआरपी मिल रही थी इसकी वजह से, लेकिन धीरे धीरे इसकी वजह से इंडिया का जो इलेक्शन सिस्टम था वो इफेक्ट होने लगा। वोटर्स जो थे वो इन्फ्लुएंस होने लगे और इन पे अलग अलग तरीके के एलिगेशंस लगने लगे। कई कई जगह पे ऐसी भी सिचुएशन हो गई थी कि जो पोल्स प्रिडिक्ट कर देते थे उसी के हिसाब से रिजल्ट जो था उस पर फर्क पड़ जाता था। ये डे बाय डे बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ने लगा था। और इसके साथ साथ पैरेलली एक चीज और स्टार्ट हो गई थी इंडिया में, ये जितनी भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज थी ये खुद का सर्वे कराने लगी थी। मतलब कि ओपिनियन पोल, एग्जिट पोल, ये पोलिंग एजेंसीज तो करा ही रही थी, और इसके साथ साथ एक चीज और शुरू हो गई थी कि जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज थी इन्होंने सर्वे करवाने के लिए खुद की अलग से और एडवांस पोलिंग एजेंसीज बना के पोलिंग करवानी शुरू कर दी थी, ताकि उनको पता चल सके कि वो कहां पे हार रहे हैं, कहां जीत रहे हैं, कौन सी कास्ट उनको पसंद कर रही है, कौन सी नहीं कर रही है। और फिर इसी के बेसिस पे पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज अपनी स्ट्रेटेजी बनाती थी। और ये चीज आज की डेट में भी होती है, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज खुद का अलग से सर्वे कराती हैं और फिर स्ट्रेटेजी डिसाइड करती है। एक एग्जांपल से बताता हूं, जैसे 2017 के यूपी के इलेक्शन में एक्सिस माई इंडिया, सी वोटर जैसी एजेंसीज को टास्क दिया गया था कि सर्वे करके वो ये पता करें कि लोग किस योजना या फिर मुद्दों को इंपॉर्टेंस दे रही हैं। तो जब इन्होंने ये सर्वे किया तो इस रिपोर्ट में आया कि लोग प्रधानमंत्री उज्जवल योजना के तहत जो फ्री में एलपीजी कनेक्शन दिए जा रहे हैं और सब्सिडीज दी जा रही हैं, ये बहुत ज्यादा पसंद कर रहे हैं। किसी भी नेता का भाषण उठा के देख लो, नेता अपने भाषणों में कोई भी चीज ऐसी हवा में नहीं बोल देता है। हर चीज कैलकुलेटेड होती है, डेटा से बैक्ड होती है, और जो मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन भी फैलाई जाती है वो भी इन्हीं डेटा के ऊपर बेस्ड होती है और जानबूझ के फैलाई जाती है। इन पोलिंग एजेंसीज डेटा और टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज करके इलेक्शन के टाइम पे नेताओं को आपके बारे में आपसे ज्यादा पता होता है, और भाषणों में किस कास्ट और रिलीजन को क्या बोल के इंप्रेस करना है, ये सारी चीजें डेटा और सर्वे से निकाल के नेता आपके सामने परोस देता है। आपको लगेगा कि आप अपनी मर्जी से जाके वोट दे रहे हो, लेकिन एक्चुअल में एक प्लान तरीके से सिलेक्टिव इंफॉर्मेशन देके आपसे वोट डलवाया जाता है। तो देखिए, जैसे कि मैं बता रहा था अभी कि उस टाइम पे भी जब ये पोल्स होते थे तो इनको लेके बहुत आवाजें उठने लगी थी, क्योंकि इंडिया के अंदर इलेक्शन जो थे वो फेजेस में होते थे, और इन पोल्स और रिपोर्ट्स के आने के बाद जो बाकी के फेजेस होते थे उन पे बहुत इंपैक्ट पड़ता था। तो फिर इन प्री इलेक्शन पोल्स को लेके कई सारी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज ने आवाज उठाई कि वोटर इन्फ्लुएंस हो रहा है, इसे बंद होना चाहिए। और सबसे ज्यादा अपोज इन प्री इलेक्शन पोल्स का ईयर 1996 के इंसिडेंट के बाद हुआ, जिसके बाद इलेक्शन कमीशन को प्री इलेक्शन पोल्स के लिए रूल्स बनाने पड़े। एक्चुअली हुआ क्या था कि ईयर 1996 में पोलिंग एजेंसीज ने प्रेडिक्ट किया कि इस बार हंग पार्लियामेंट फॉर्म होगी। हंग पार्लियामेंट मतलब कि कोई भी पार्टी जो है वो सरकार नहीं बना पाएगी, और जैसा इन पोल्स ने प्रेडिक्ट किया था एग्जैक्टली वैसा ही हुआ। अब इस इंसिडेंट के बाद पॉलिटिकल पार्टी जो थी इन प्री इलेक्शन पोलिंग के मॉडल को लेके अपोज करने लगी कि ये बहुत बड़ा डिसएडवांटेज है, जनता इन प्री इलेक्शन पोल्स के हिसाब से चल रही है। कई पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के ऊपर तो ये भी एलिगेशन लगे कि ये पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज पैसा देके इन पोलिंग एजेंसीज को खरीद रही हैं और अपनी हवा बनवा रही है, जिससे बहुत नुकसान हो रहा है, और ये तो एक लोकतंत्र की हत्या है। तो ये जो पोलिंग एजेंसीज थी इनका एक पूरी तरीके से बिजनेस बन चुका था। हालांकि आज की डेट में इन एग्जिट पोल और ओपिनियन पोल को लेके रूल्स बने हुए हैं, लेकिन आज की डेट में भी एलिगेशन लगते हैं कि इनको मैनिपुलेट किया जाता है। एस.वाई. कुरैशी ने ऑन रिकॉर्ड बोला है कि ये जो पोलिंग एजेंसीज हैं ये बड़े आराम से दो रिपोर्ट देने के लिए राजी हो जाती हैं। एक तो ओरिजिनल देती हैं जो एक्चुअल डेटा सर्वे का आया होता है, दूसरी गलत रिपोर्ट जो पैसा देके जैसी रिपोर्ट बनवाना चाहे वैसी बना के वो दे देंगी। 2014 के इलेक्शन के टाइम पे न्यूज एक्सप्रेस के 7 रिपोर्टर्स ने एक स्टिंग ऑपरेशन किया। ये पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के ऑफिशियल्स बनके 11 प्री इलेक्शन पोल कंपनीज के पास गए और उनसे बोला कि आप जो पोल पब्लिश करोगे उसमें हमारी पार्टी को जीतता हुआ दिखा दो, भले जो भी रिजल्ट आ रहा हो आपका, उससे हमें मतलब नहीं है, हमारी पार्टी को जीतता हुआ दिखा दो। तो इसमें 2 एजेंसीज तो ऐसी थी जिन्होंने साफ मना कर दिया, एक AC निल्सन और दूसरी CSDS लोकनीति। इन 2 एजेंसीज ने ये जो रिपोर्टर्स थे जो ये फेक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बन के आए थे, इनसे बात तक करने को मना कर दिया। एक एजेंसी थी सी वोटर्स और उसके साथ साथ कुछ 11 छोटी पोलिंग एजेंसीज थी, उनके पास गए और उनका स्टिंग ऑपरेशन किया। इस स्टिंग ऑपरेशन में सी वोटर के MD यशवंत देशमुख कह रहे हैं कि थोड़ी बहुत ट्वीकिंग तो हो सकती है लेकिन पूरा गलत दिखाना मुश्किल होगा। मतलब कि और जब ये स्टिंग ऑपरेशन सामने आया तो सी वोटर ने कहा कि ये जो स्टिंग ऑपरेशन की वीडियो है ये एडिटेड है। तो जैसा कि मैं अभी बता रहा था कि ईयर 1996 में जब ये हंग पार्लियामेंट वाला इंसिडेंट हुआ था तो फिर इसी पर्टिकुलर इंसिडेंट के बाद एंट्री होती है इलेक्शन कमीशन की। तो देखिए, इलेक्शन कमीशन के पास एक पावर होती है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के आर्टिकल 324 के तहत, ये इलेक्शन को सही से करवाने के लिए कुछ गाइडलाइंस इशू कर सकती हैं। तो ये जो हंग पार्लियामेंट वाला इशू हुआ था इसके कुछ साल बाद ही ईयर 1998 में इलेक्शन होने थे गुजरात, हिमाचल प्रदेश, मेघालय और त्रिपुरा में। और इन इलेक्शंस को सही से करवाने के लिए इलेक्शन कमीशन ने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के आर्टिकल 324 के तहत गाइडलाइन इशू की, जिसमें यह था कि प्री इलेक्शन पोल्स ये जो पब्लिश करे जा रहे हैं, ये जो पूरा गेम चल रहा है, ये अब नहीं चलेगा। इस इलेक्शन में न्यूज चैनल और न्यूज़पेपर जो है इलेक्शन के दौरान प्री इलेक्शन पोल्स जो है वो ब्रॉडकास्ट नहीं कर सकते। अब इस चीज से मीडिया को बहुत ज्यादा नुकसान हुआ, टीआरपी का बहुत ज्यादा नुकसान हुआ, लेकिन मीडिया को मानना पड़ा और इलेक्शन कमीशन के इस एक स्टेप की वजह से ये जो इलेक्शन थे बहुत ही आराम से कंप्लीट हो गए। लेकिन इसके बाद क्या होता है कि ईयर 1999 में लोकसभा के इलेक्शन होने थे और इस बार इलेक्शन कमीशन ने फिर से सेम गाइडलाइन इशू करी पोलिंग्स के ऊपर, यह कहकर कि अब प्री इलेक्शन पोल्स जो है वो मीडिया इलेक्शन के टाइम पे ब्रॉडकास्ट नहीं कर सकती, क्योंकि इससे वोटर जो है वो इन्फ्लुएंस होता है। अब असेंबली इलेक्शन तक तो ठीक था, लेकिन लोकसभा इलेक्शन में नुकसान ज्यादा था, इसको ज्यादा लोग देखते थे, ज्यादा टीआरपी होती थी, तो मीडिया का नुकसान ज्यादा था। तो मीडिया के एक सेक्शन ने इलेक्शन कमीशन की इस गाइडलाइन को मानने से साफ मना कर दिया और जब इस गाइडलाइन को मानने से मना कर दिया तो इलेक्शन कमीशन के पास और कोई चारा नहीं बचा, इलेक्शन कमीशन को कोर्ट जाना पड़ा। लेकिन कोर्ट में जाने के बाद भी कोर्ट ने कहा कि ये जो गाइडलाइंस हैं कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के हिसाब से वैलिडेट नहीं हो पा रही हैं। तो फिर इसके बाद इलेक्शन कमीशन को ये जो गाइडलाइंस थी इनको हटाना पड़ा। अब इन इलेक्शन में तो इलेक्शन कमीशन जो था वो कुछ नहीं कर पाया, लेकिन इसके बाद ईयर 2004 में इलेक्शन कमीशन लॉ मिनिस्ट्री के पास पहुंच जाता है और रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ द पीपल एक्ट का जो कानून था उसको अमेंड करवाता है और फिर सेक्शन 126A को लाके इलेक्शन के टाइम पे ये जो सर्वे होते हैं इन पे लिमिटेड रिस्ट्रिक्शंस लगवा दी। मतलब कि जिसका जब मन हो कोई भी रिपोर्ट उठा के, कोई भी पोलिंग उठा के वोटर के सामने इलेक्शन के टाइम पे ऐसे ब्रॉडकास्ट भी करना है तो उससे कुछ रूल्स फॉलो करने होंगे, जो कि हर मीडिया हाउस को फॉलो करने होंगे, वरना सजा होगी। और फिर यहीं से देश के अंदर ओपिनियन पोल हो, एग्जिट पोल हो, इनके रूल्स आए। इन रूल्स में सबसे पहली चीज ये थी कि ऐसे ही कोई भी कंपनी उठा के सर्वे करने लगती है, जो कि अब से नहीं होगा। अब जो भी कंपनी ये प्री इलेक्शन पोल्स करवाएगी उसको पहले इलेक्शन कमीशन से अपना रजिस्ट्रेशन करवाना होगा, जिसमें इलेक्शन कमीशन जो है वो एजेंसी के पुराने रिकॉर्ड को ट्रैक करेगा, पोलिंग एजेंसी किस तरीके से पोलिंग करवा रही है, क्या मेथड और टेक्निक यूज कर रही है, क्वेश्चंस कौन कौन से इन्वॉल्व होंगे, वो सब पोलिंग एजेंसीज को सबमिट करने होंगे इलेक्शन कमीशन को। इन सब अप्रूवल के बाद फिर एजेंसी जो होगी वो एलिजिबल होगी प्री इलेक्शन सर्वे करवाने के लिए। अभी जो इंडिया के अंदर मेन रजिस्टर सर्वे करने वाली कंपनीज हैं वो ये हैं जिनके पोल्स आप देखते हो। दूसरी चीज, ओपिनियन पोल के लिए अलग और एग्जिट पोल के लिए अलग रूल्स बनाए गए। ओपिनियन पोल के लिए कहा गया कि इलेक्शन जिस दिन होना है उससे 48 आवर्स पहले तक ही आप अपने ओपिनियन पोल के जो रिजल्ट्स हैं वो ब्रॉडकास्ट कर सकते हो, लेकिन उसके बाद जब तक वोटिंग का आखिरी फेज कंप्लीट नहीं हो जाता आप तब तक न्यूज चैनल या फिर न्यूज़पेपर पे इनको बैक टू बैक आप ब्रॉडकास्ट नहीं कर सकते, उससे वोटर इन्फ्लुएंस हो जाता है। और ओपिनियन पोल के लिए जो 48 आवर्स रखा गया है, इसको आप सुनते होंगे 48 आवर्स साइलेंस पीरियड या फिर इलेक्शन साइलेंस, ये नाम दिया गया है इसको। जैसे मान लो 1 अप्रैल को चुनाव है तो 30 मार्च को शाम 5 बजे के बाद से ओपिनियन पोल की जो ब्रॉडकास्टिंग है वो बंद हो जाएगी। कोई उसके बाद भी किसी तरीके से ओपिनियन पोल्स को चला रहा है तो एक